Dan on the call for this one. He's here with us now. Josh Allen and the Bills.
Highlight moments of his young career. 81, beautiful blocking up front, really nice on the perimeter, but just his speed and strength down the field. What a great start for that offense.
Falcons leading 21-7 at home. 15 seconds left, and Josh Allen trying to make something happen, but throws the interception to D. Alford. Falcons lead 21-7 at halftime. Let's go to the third quarter. Same score. Bills inside the red zone. Allen to Ray Davis for the touchdown.
You had to like it if you were a Buffalo Bills fan. The way that the Bills came out in the second half, marched right down the field and got it back within one score.
The Bills in striking distance and under a minute left. Bills trailing now 24-14 inside the red zone. Allen's throw right here tipped. Intercepted by D'Angelo Malone. Allen's second interception of the game. The Falcons win 24-14. Here's Josh Allen after the game.
It sucks when you feel like two-thirds of your teams, the offense and the defense, are doing their job, and you're the team not to pull your weight. It sucks. So again, gotta get in the film room and learn from our mistakes and move on.
All right, we'll get to the Bills in a little bit as we welcome you in. Glad you're with us today. Dan, Nina, Graz, we're all here. And Dan, you were on the call for the game. As I said, what was your big takeaway from this Falcons win over Buffalo at home?
Yeah, that young talent is starting to really learn how to play NFL football. I fully expect Bijan Robinson to be at or very near the top of the MVP list come November. I think if you're an NFC playoff team, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, if you're the Los Angeles Rams, the Minnesota Vikings, can you stop the outside zone? That's unapologetically who this football team is with their two backs, Robinson and Algier. And if you defensively can't corral that, can't set the edge, can't run through the backside of the gaps and tackle very well, this team's going to be a problem. And so all those NFC playoff teams, man, this is a football team that has a clear identity on offense of what they want to do. And their young stars of Bijan and Drake London and Michael Penix are just, at least offensively, starting to put it together.
They're great. But for Falcons fans, I feel like the revelation has to have been, or what was last night, watching a pass rush for the first time in like 15 plus years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it must have felt like a revelation. Watching back some of those pressures, the two players who jumped out to me on tape list in quite some time, and they had a 44% pressure rate, made a ton of sense, by the way, leaning into that, because Caden Ellis, I think, is one of the best blitzing linebackers in football. But the other thing that really jumped out to me, Dan, watching them, is not only were they able to pressure Allen, they were able to contain him while they were blitzing. And Ellis in particular, my goodness, it wasn't him hanging back and spying. He was coming as a rusher, but then keeping eyes on Allen. And there were so many moments where in the past you felt like, oh, Allen's going to take off, he's going to scramble for a first down. And the backers were able to track him down. Just an outstanding performance by those two as part of what I'm sure for Falcons fans is a very exciting night.
Yeah, I totally agree with the defense. They were in conversation. They were very clear, we're going to go after this offense. And I go back to the first touchdown, really the only touchdown pass for the game for Josh Allen in the first half, 3rd and forever. They play zone, they 4-man rush him. He's got all day to throw. From that moment on, it was like, hey, we're going to go after you. I think you saw how much A.J. Terrell matters to that defense. Jalen Walker also attached with Ellis as a spy and a rusher. Raheem Morris, who's the head coach, said after the bye week, he truly believes that their young, athletic defensive talent is just starting to understand, how important that day-to-day is in the NFL and being coachable. They're talented as anybody on defense when it comes to speed and athleticism.
Yeah, and they are young, which I think that's really important.
So
they can all
young.
kind of grow up together, which is maybe scary for their opponents. Graz, 2 straight losses for the Bills. Are some changes on the horizon in Buffalo?
Yeah, they're heading into the bye week now, Laura. I think they'll sort of get in the lab as coaches and figure out how they need to adjust this offense. Ever since Joe Brady took over as the offensive coordinator midway through the 2023 season, this offense has been extremely disciplined and extremely run-heavy and averse to turnovers. They turned the ball over 8 times total last year in 20 games, counting the postseason. So now they're turning it over again. Now teams are going after Josh Allen. They've figured out how to contain him. They're not scared of getting beat on the back end. Bills may have to make some adjustments that require them to take more shots down the field. And with 3 weeks till the trade deadline, Laura, I think this is a team that I wouldn't be surprised to see them on the hunt for an offensive playmaker that could help them down the field. I know Brandon Beane, their GM, gets annoyed when people talk about how they don't have a number one wide receiver, but it doesn't seem like the Falcons were too scared of anybody beating them down the field last night.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This team actually, the offense, reminds me a little bit of the Ravens a few years ago, where if they can't run the ball in dominant fashion, that's both the back and the quarterback, then teams exact same situation that we're seeing Josh Allen right now. If I'm Buffalo, I'm calling New Orleans. Rashid Shaheed, maybe Chris Olave, that one seems a little bit less likely, but they absolutely need downfield speed because right now this group, they were affected by the absence of Kincaid and Palmer, but I still think that they need more.
I agree with you that it's worthy to add downfield speed. I think that can be true while also being real. They were down 8 starters for most of that football game last night on both sides of the ball, so yes, they're going to have to play better defensively. They're going to have to be more gap sound. They're going to have to tackle better. But they also have to get a lot of their weaponry back to really gauge where this defense and really where the team is as a whole.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that in the trade deadline coming up soon, early November. Let's go to the other Monday night matchup. Commanders hosting the Bears on Monday Night Football. We're actually going to pick it up in the third quarter for this game. The Commanders at this point, you see the two quarterbacks there. Of course, they're familiar with each other, 1 and 2 in the 2024 draft. Commanders trail 13-7. Jaden Daniels getting back in it, connecting with a wide open Luke McCaffrey for 6 points. Commanders leading 17-16. Early fourth quarter, same score, 1-point game, and Daniels to Zach Ertz, Dan.
Yeah, Zach Ertz really came on for their pass game. Obviously, no Terry McLaurin. You saw Jaden Daniels consistently looking for Ertz in critical moments.
Ensuing Bears drive, Caleb Williams finds DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift in this Bears run game finally got going last night.
3rd and 5. I love the little subtle motion. You're using the leverage of the defender to essentially pick himself, get the ball to a playmaker in space. He does the rest.
Now the Bears only trail by 2. Late fourth quarter, Commanders with the ball, same score, and Daniels handing it, trying to Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt, but they fumbled the exchange. Could have been a slippery ball. Either way, Daniels took ownership of that moment, but a huge opportunity for the Bears. Next Bears possession, trying to make something happen here. Could they get in field goal range? Swift gets the carry, the big gain, and now they are in field goal range. Jake Moody, who just joined the team, he's got an opportunity to win this thing, and sure enough, Jake Moody nails that kick. The Bears win 25-24. We talked to Caleb Williams after the game, and here's what he had to say about their 3rd straight win in Chicago.
That's who we are. We fight. That's what Coach said. We went 0-2 the first 2 games. We tied it back up, went 2-2, and now we're 3-2 because of our fight, because of our, how we face adversity and how we come through and come together.
So cool for Jake Moody. The entire night we're like, oh my goodness, is this going to come down to him? And then sure enough, it does.
Was it good vibes in there?
It was. It was awesome vibes.
Yeah.
It would have been either way. I mean, maybe not for Commanders fans, but
Sure.
Dan, the Bears did find a way to win. They were able to set up that game-winning field goal. Take us through how that happened.
Yeah, first of all, the 3rd and 5 conversion was huge when it comes to just play design, and then the understanding of situational football to really get that second run into field goal range. So 3rd and 5, you want to give yourself the best chance for success. So Chicago comes out, and we see it all the time, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-by-1 formation. Now this matters because if I was the offense and I want to throw against a lesser defender, the 4-by-1 makes the nickel defender, the pass coverage guy, you're over there. So then that leaves a linebacker backside. Well, I want to, as an offense, throw to my skill guy in the linebacker. So I motion over the tight end. Washington leaves the nickel, Sanger still backside. Great, so I'm gonna take advantage of my linebacker on my tight end matchup. Now, a couple things have to be important on your pass concept. I want to pay attention to Rome Odunze. When this ball is going to get snapped, you're going to see Rome Odunze free to get vertical if I'm the Bears. 2 reasons why. Rome, when you push vertical, the defense feels your speed because as he goes vertical here, okay, this linebacker needs to continue to drop because Rome could be running this in route. Okay, he has to carry depth. Rome, I need you to push vertical because as you push vertical and can run that corner, that defensive back has to gain depth. So I'm taking the coverage and lifting it. Now I want to go to my tight end Loveland, okay? When you get there, 2 things advantage for me. You're now just a body presence on that defensive end. It's not going to be a chip, it's just a body presence, so I'm helping to tackle. The second thing is, I need you to do what we call an arc release, meaning widen, okay? See, this is really important. As he widens and Rome pushes vertical, you're